Hello, this is Brett from SurvivalComms, and today on the table outside we have a Comet GP-9 collinear VHF UHF antenna. Now this antenna does not belong to me, it belongs to a friend of mine from the radio club, and he had issues after he assembled it to where he couldn't get it to match correctly, specifically on UHF. So we're going to go ahead and address it and see what the heck is going on here. Now this antenna has 3 fiberglass sections, and you have to tie the elements together with set screws here. Now I'm not a big fan of that personally. These elements are rather small inside of here, and having set screws in here, I mean, while it will work, that's not a very good long-term solution. Well, this is the inside of the GP-9 antenna. And you can see here's our feed point, and this is considered the power handling section right here. And then you can see how our elements go, and you can see there's a lot of solder joints in here that could be potential points for failure. And you can see our coupler here. Well, let's discuss what I discovered on this antenna upon disassembling it. Was this element here was bent up, and the problem with this is this design to where you have to slide these elements together, and they don't give you very good instructions. There is a procedure for putting this antenna together that prevents this, but it's something that they don't even begin to address in the instructions. And this antenna has a lot going on. You can see that all these different solder junctions here, they've covered with foam, which they should have put these away from here to make it easy to evaluate these connections, which is a pretty poor design in my opinion. I'm going to show you how to reassemble this antenna now before we get on to the midsection and the problems I found there. You have to be very careful when you're assembling this because it doesn't take much to bend these elements. They're very fragile. And the rear section does not move at all. All your movement in this antenna takes place in the very top section, and the midsection acts as a go-between. So once you've got this power handling section attached here and your RF connector is just about flush with that, you'll see you have a set screw here. Tighten that up. And snug is tight in this kind of stuff. You don't want to overdo it. Now the error found in the midsection was this element here had been shoved all the way back up into this VHF element, and I had to reform it as best I can with some pliers. This wire is not very flexible. So after doing that, you can see that this end right here no longer is right up into here, and it's no longer bearing on this element. And had I not have taken this apart, you would have never noticed that, except for seeing the symptom that this entire section of the element was shoved all the way back up into here. Now the way to reassemble this is to very gently use a string tied to the base and slide this element in and kind of work it with the string and with your hands. And this entire antenna assembly like this is extremely delicate. And just take your time. And you want to bring it back to this point here. The third and final issue I discovered was this element right here was bent back almost into a Z shape. So what I've done is I've taken a pair of needle nose pliers, again and straighten out this element as best I can. So let's go ahead and assemble this thing. Now to assemble this, you have your set screws in here, and you want to bring this element into the set screws like that, and you can feel the positive stop at the bottom. And once you've done that, tighten up your set screws. Now that that connection's made, you're going to need to assemble this radome. But before you do that, you want to go ahead and push this upper element into your mid element, and I'll show you why in a second. You can use the string that you've got attached also if you desire to do so. But you need to do this to make sure that you can make that attachment between the mid element and the lower element. And this is what I'm talking about here. You want your element to be proud of the mid radome to allow you to make attachment. Now we need to bring these radomes together to support these elements so they don't get damaged when you're assembling it. And you can see we've already got our seal on here. And you'll push this radome in gently just like that, and you can feel it to where it'll close up, and just cinch this up right here just to hold this assembly together, because we're going to be breaking this particular radome connection when we go ahead and line up our lower element. Now let's couple our mid and lower elements together, and you do that the same way. Just take the elements, bring them together, and when they come to a stop, tighten up your set screws. Now in order to bring this radome back, you can see there may be a little bit of movement in here, but there's not much because it's stopped up in the front of it, so you don't want to force this connection here. So we go back, we break that connection, and we work from the front connection, and as we push the upper element back into the upper radome, this right here becomes easier to assemble, and this way we don't stress the elements of the antenna in assembly. So making that work, loosen up your nut and open this connection again, and you'll see your element exposed. And what you have to do is work this mid element down while protecting the upper element by bringing it closer, and just work them in concert with one another until the radome sections become aligned. Then protect your element by doing this, and then go back and line up your tubes. Now you can see how our mid radome and lower radome are nested together. Return to the junction of the upper radome and the mid radome, and repeat the process while you slide that mid radome home into the body of the antenna or into the base section. Using gentle pressure. And now you can see our junction here, and you can feel our lower radome nested squarely up against the mid radome. Now slide this assembly down as such, and with the same gentle pressure, slide this radome home. Now you can go ahead and turn your coupling nut. And make it hand tight. Now let's tighten up our lower collar, and again, hand tight is sufficient. Now that we've completed that, let's put this thing on the test jig and see how it works. And we have our antenna on the jig for preliminary testing. Now that we've completed our sweeps, let's go ahead and test it with a mobile radio. This mobile radio is like 45 to 50 watts of power. Transmitting now, we got 45 watts forward. And now reflected power. We're less than a watt of reflected power at 146 megahertz. Now let's repeat our test on UHF, 446 megahertz. .28 watts forward, reflected power, a little over 1 watt. Well, what do I think about the Comet GP-9? Well, for a ham radio antenna for your house, I think it's just fine. It's definitely not a commercial quality antenna. It's also enormous. I mean, look at this thing, it's 17 foot long. And as such, it does boast some pretty impressive gain characteristics or specifications. It's like 6 decibels over a dipole at VHF and 8 decibels over a dipole at UHF, which is very impressive. But you have to consider the fact that with a vertical antenna, when you're talking about gain, you're talking about radiation focus towards the horizon. So if you were in level terrain like it is here, it would help you out quite a bit. But in a mountainous or hilly terrain, if you're down in a valley, it's not going to have a lot of up tilt to reach uphill, and if you're on top of a mountain, it's not going to have a whole heck of a lot of down tilt to reach down into the valley or lowlands. So take that into consideration. If one wanted to use this antenna as like a field deployable thing and break this antenna down, they certainly could do that if they desire to do so, but you have to pay the attention to detail in assembly and disassembly of this antenna like we discussed and I showed you earlier. And speaking of that, the instructions that were provided for this antenna, they're not very good instructions. So there's plenty of other content out there. If you didn't like my content on putting this together, you could certainly watch someone else's and maybe that'll float your boat. But anyhow, I hope this helps. This is Brett from SurvivalComms. Till next time.